Hi everyone, how are you? How's everyone doing on this fine Monday evening? So, I have to tell you guys, as soon as people start coming on here, exactly what happened. I went live in the wrong group. So that's why I'm late. I actually created a whole video in a totally different section. So, sorry about that. So, okay. I know so many of you are waiting for this, and like I said, I actually did a live in a different group. But I started on time, so that was really great. So I was able to do one eyebrow for all of you already because I just did it in another group. So let's talk about the perfect eyebrow. Hi everyone. Hey everyone. Happy Monday evening. So thank you for staying tuned in and taking a look at this tutorial. So today we're going to talk about the perfect eyebrow, and this is something that I always talk about because an eyebrow can make a world of a difference in regards to framing your face. And as you can see, all of my makeup is done and one eyebrow is completely not done on here. So I just did another live and another video, and this is the difference an eyebrow can truly make on your face. So as you can see, it completely frames the face. It can create length. It can add an arch. You know, it really can change so many ways. So there's so many ways that you can create an eyebrow now. You can get your eyebrows tattooed. The only thing with that is if you get permanent tattooing, you know, throughout the decades, eyebrows change all the time. Some decades they're really thin. Some decades, you know, bushy eyebrows are awesome. And, you know, the perfect eyebrow is really to have your natural eyebrow. That's the perfect eyebrow. Now, some people get microblading, which is great, lasts in between 6 to 12 months, but still needs touch up. It is an invasive, like, little procedure. And to tell you the truth, I like to create my eyebrow on a daily basis because if I want to create them a little bit thinner or if I want to create a little bit thicker look, then I can easily do that and manipulate it by using makeup. And that's the beauty of makeup. You can change anything. You can look like Marilyn Monroe. The next day you can look like J-Lo, right? So that's the beauty of makeup. So let's talk about the brow, okay? So brows are different ways that we can actually do them. We can do them with a pencil. We can use pigments. What I used to love doing as a makeup artist is just using shadows, to tell you the truth. I use different shadows. And here's why. You know, people change their hair color all the time, right? So for instance, I'm going to talk about a specific brow palette. Now, I'm using medium in here, but I would even go into a light color. And the reason why I would go into a light color is because my hair is dyed blonde, but I'm not naturally a blonde. So there's many different colors that you could go with. And to tell you the truth, when you're changing your hair color, then you're probably going to change a little bit of your eyebrow color. And that's why people get them tinted and so forth. So you have the versatility of really changing it up with a shadow or a pencil or whatever. So as I was saying, as a makeup artist, I used to like using different shadows because a powder is easily blendable and easily manipulated. You can manipulate it very easily, and it can blend very easily. Now pencils are fantastic too. They're easy, they're on the go. The only thing with pencils is if someone doesn't have a light touch, or doesn't feel like they can draw it on very well. Like for instance, my mother, God bless her soul, she's an amazing woman. But as her eyes start weakening, as she matures as she matures every single day, you know, it's hard for her to then see exactly where she's drawing on. So if she was to use more of a blending technique with some powders, it's going to work out a little bit easier for her. So with pencils, you can definitely blend those. They're fantastic tools, but I like to create a little bit of dimension. And right now in this day and age, creating a brow that's more natural and even the gradual brow is the thing that's completely in now. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that when the brow starts actually going to the outer corner, it's actually the darkest as it goes through the eyebrow, just over the eye color, and so forth. And here it actually gradually gets lighter to darker. So that's what a natural eyebrow does. Now let's talk about that, right? So a natural eyebrow, your hairs grow up, right? So right now they're sparse right here. So what a lot of people are doing right now is creating a lighter blend here and then going really dark on the outside. And that's how the natural eyebrow goes. So I've done that a little bit here. So as you can see, it gets darker on the outside. So let's start with talking about our eyebrows and starting off with our eyebrows. What you want to do is obviously freshly pluck your eyebrows or get them waxed or whatever. Now, I like to get them waxed because sometimes I ask them to clean it up because I cannot not get those small hairs. It's a pain for me, and even if I use the best lighting, I can never get them. However, when they do that, sometimes they butcher my eyebrows. So, you know, when you start plucking and you start waxing your eyebrows, even with threading, you have to be very careful, because if you're actually doing all those things and you get it in the wrong spot and they pull it, sometimes it doesn't grow back. And to tell you the truth, as we get older, the areas we want to grow back don't grow back, and the areas we want to go away never go away. Isn't that funny? So on certain parts of your eyebrows where you don't want it to grow in, it grows in all the time. But then when you actually want those parts that you actually over plucked, then they're all gone. So when you're plucking your eyebrows, make sure that you're constantly going back and checking the line of your eyebrows when you're going in there. Some people draw a white line with a white eyeliner just to make sure that they're plucking the right areas. But every time you're plucking your eyebrows and you're doing that on your own, always step back to see exactly. Because what a lot of people do, stay in. They keep on plucking, and then until they actually go back, then they see that they went over plucked. So always go in and go out. Always go in and go out, just like I'm doing on here. So I hope I'm not making you sick. Okay, so let's talk about the eyebrow. When you want to start with your eyebrow, you want to make sure that you're brushing it in the right direction. And if your eyebrow hairs are too long, which mine do grow too long, what I like to do is cut them with a nail scissor and then just cut so they're not too long and going all over the place. Now, you can use a wax or you can use an eyebrow gel, which we have, and it stays fantastic and stays in there. But I just like to brush them in the directions that you want to start doing your eyebrows. The other thing that I like to do is use an eye primer. So as all of you know, when you're doing your foundation and everything, you use a primer on your face. This is a specific eye primer. I like it because it's a little bit more matte. And what I like to do is I like to use it over my eyebrows too, in a very, very thin layer when I'm doing my eyes. And the reason why is because if you put a primer even over top of your eyebrow, then the color that you're going to put on there is going to be staying on there the entire day. So a primer should be used for your eye and even your eyebrows, but use a very small amount and make sure you brush it through so it's not clumpy or it's not sitting on top of it and it's not glistening type of thing, right? Okay, so let's talk about this palette. So this palette is brand new. I probably have a lot of presenters in here, and if you're a presenter, and I'm sure all of you bought this today, it's beautiful, okay? It's absolutely gorgeous. So this is a medium shade here with the true colors. You've got a lighter color here, you've got a darker color, and I like to use both colors to play with dimension, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. There's two colors as highlighters also, and then also a wax on the outside. So this is a medium. I actually ordered a blonde today because I want to see what the difference is going to be in my brows, because I have that blonder color. Sometimes when I put down my hair, it may be a little bit too dark as eyebrows, but you can play with that as much as you want. So true brunettes definitely, or even dirty blondes, can use a medium. If you're a blonde, or even if you dye your hair blonde like I do, you could be a light. And then dark, definitely for darker eyebrows and more black eyebrows. Dark brown, black. Okay, so let's talk about this. So what Younique also came out with is a brow artist brush. These are fantastic brushes because they're very, very precise. There's one side that's very angled and a very small brush on this side, and this is exactly for precision. They are soft bristles, but hard and firm in regards to the consistency of it. So it's firm in regards to movability, but they are soft bristles. The exact same thing happens on the other side, but this is a straight edge. So straight edges can be used for many different reasons. You could be using it for precision in regards to, you know, the wax. You can even use this a little bit as a liner. You can use this for different reasons. So it's really all a preference on what side you want. I like to use this one because it's a small edge, it's easy to use, and it's very easy to glide with. Now, when using a brow brush, what you have to really think about, a lot of people really hold this tight, and because they're scared of moving and getting the wrong line, they hold it too tight and they're trying to draw on. We don't want to draw on. With this, you're going to use very, very little product, and you're going to use very light pressure on your actual brush. And the reason why is because a lot of pigment can come off and go onto your brush, and you do not want to create such a defined line. You really want to blend this out beautifully. So using less pressure by holding your actual brush is going to give you easy manipulation and movability on the brush itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my brows with this darker color. Now, I won't use this on all of my brow, okay? I'm creating dimension in my brow. And the dimension that I'm going to create is at the bottom. See how I'm just lightly tapping on this, like I'm not rubbing it in? That's because there's tons of product in here, tons. So the pigment is very heavily pigmented, and you don't need a lot. Even when you're going in the front part of your brow, you don't need to keep on going with more product. You can just use the product that's left over on your brush. So we're going to talk about that in a second. So I'm just going to use my mirror as reference. So I'm going to start actually all the way down where I want my brow to start. Okay, and I'm using hair-like strokes, and it's very, very light. So you can see I'm already creating that line. Not using very much product. And I'm not gliding a whole line here. I'm using very light strokes. And once you actually get this completely under control, you're going to become such a pro at this that it takes you literally a couple seconds to do this. It's so ridiculously easy. And I'm only using the darker color to line the bottom of my lash line, or sorry, my eyebrow line. Thinking about lashes all day. I'm going to tell you a funny story, a dream I had last night. So right before I go into that, you can create an arch at any point, okay? Creating an arch, you can create an arch where it's supposed to be. If you have no brows, you can create your own arch, okay? So, but a tip that I always tell everyone, the higher your arch, the more mature you're gonna look. People that have a natural lower arch look very much younger than people who have high arches, okay? And the reason why is because usually when we get older, and some people may choose to get a little bit of work done, it starts pulling your skin a little bit back. And so as you get higher arches, it makes you look a little bit more aged. So if you can keep an arch pretty gradual and lighter, it's going to make you look a lot younger. So you won't look like this. You're just going to look very, very young. Okay, so let's keep on going here. So I'm just going to fishtail like the end of it. So the tail end of my brow is not long enough. So I'm going to add length. And this one's going to have to be a little bit darker. See that length I created there? So that's also a fake tail right there. Okay, so the other night, I'm going in with the lighter color. Okay, now I'm going with the light color. I'm going to make sure that I take off the excess product. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the lighter color, and I'm going to create, and I'm going to fill in my brows, and I'm going to start from the top. But this is the thing, this front part I want to keep gradual, so I'm not starting right from the beginning up here. I'm going to start a little bit further in my eyebrow and still use that medium light color, but I'm creating a line up here because I'm going to fill it in a little bit differently at the front. So the other night I had a dream. I had a dream of the luminizers coming out. And I was telling my friend this the other day. that I had a dream about the luminizers coming out, and everyone was using them as foundation and not as a substitution as the foundation. And the new fad was to look like a star, like literally glitter. So people were literally walking around with a glitter face because of the luminizers. It was the best seller, but people were using it incorrectly. They were using it completely like a foundation, and their whole face was illuminated like glitter. So it was almost like my worst nightmare. It was literally like my worst nightmare. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going back in and I'm filling in the eyebrow. You don't want to leave it sparse, but you want to fill it in, and you want to do it with I'm using very, very low amount of pressure on my fingers. Like I'm literally holding it, and I can easily wobble it like this. And just because it'll be easier to hold, okay? And it's going to be easier to blend in, and I'm using this lighter color. So by creating a darker bottom, it's just creating a precise line and a darker line, but I'm using a lighter color at the top. So as you can see, I've left this front part, right? Well, I'm just gonna use the excess, and I'm not gonna add any more product. And I'm gonna go in here, and because your hair goes up, I like to then pull product from the bottom going upwards. So then the front part of my eyebrow that starts from the inner corner of my eye is actually much lighter than the outside of my brow. See that? See how it's gradual, and then this part's much, much darker? That's how the whole look is now. A very natural eyebrow with your hairs going up here is much lighter than the rest of your brow here. So the way to create that look is to use more pressure and color here, and then drag out whatever color that you have left on that brush, and then fill in the rest here, but not starting off there. I hope that makes a lot of sense to you. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to use a spoolie. Now you can use a spoolie on the back of your brow pencil that you have with Younique, or you can use this brow brush. And what you can do is easily, now, because powders are so easily blendable, I'm using a very light motion and just blending everything in. And if you blend too much and take product off, that's okay. Go back in with your brush and just fix the points that you need to blend in. Now, your last step, which I like to do on the brows, is to do a wax, and I'm not using too much either. And this wax here is to keep it staying still the entire day. Like I said, I have very ruly eyebrows, so if you use this wax, it's going to set them in place, and it's going to help them throughout the entire day. And I have longer brow hairs like I was talking about, so this is just going to make them absolutely stay put. And then what you could use is your brush again, and so if you have long hairs, this is the thing. If it becomes really ruly, you're going to have some hairs kind of sticking out and going like this. My dad used to have one hair, and now I notice Scott has it. It's the funniest thing. My dad always had like this long eyebrow hair, and we used to cut it all the time. And I always wanted to pluck it, but he wouldn't allow me to do it. Now I do it to Scott. Scott has the exact same thing, but don't tell him. Well, I did. He knows, but don't tell him I told you. So that's what you do with this wax. You can totally put your hairs in place, and it's super simple. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little trick. So in order to really clean up the line, I'd like to use a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand. I have Scarlet, which is the lightest color, and I'm blending that in and not using too much. So that's how much product I have on there. And then what I like to do is right from the beginning here, I like to go in and just create a really definitive line and clean up anything that I need to. Now, you don't have to do this every day, but see how much it cleans it up and really creates a beautiful look right there? It is super simple, and you're using just a little bit of product, like itsy bitsy. and you can then clean it up a little bit here, but a lot, like the least amount of product. The reason why is because if you use too much product, you're gonna have too much concealer. Now, with that concealer, this is what it's gonna do for you. Your concealer is gonna help you out tons here because you've got two highlighters. So actually on one side, I'm gonna do the pink on a little bit down here because I'm gonna use more of a pinky neutral color here and not a lot of white. And then what I'm gonna do is use this lighter color here, and I'm gonna do the outer part because it's a cream. It looks great, and you can clean it up with this color too. But I like to put a little bit of concealer underneath there because then this color is going to sit on this so much better. So this is a highlight you put underneath the eye. You can use the pink also. It is very subtle. It's not as dense as this color looks like, and it creates a beautiful lift and a beautiful highlight. Now, yesterday I was telling everyone about this and using it as a shadow. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna show you exactly what I did. So I like to use this in my crease, and here's why. I like to use this in my crease and start blending it out. Let me use this. I like to use this in my crease because it's such a nice matte color and shade that it looks awesome with our luminizers and highlights. It looks amazing. So what I like to use is this lighter color all over the crease. So this is why this whole palette is so versatile. You can use it on your brow or your lid and create your crease, okay? The rest of this product you can use on your lids and under brow. And then what I'm gonna do is on the corner, I'm gonna use some of this brown. Okay, I'm gonna create a little bit of depth in here. See that? I'm just gonna blend this out now. I'm gonna blend this out into the eye and create that dimension. Look how gorgeous that color looks. And I'm using the brow palette. You could easily use this whole palette just for your brows and then for your eyes. It's super simple too. It's amazing. And then what I like to use this for too, you're gonna die. Okay, what I like to use this for is also to do a little bit of contouring on the bridge of my nose. Just a little bit. This is highly pigmented, like highly pigmented. So look how much of a contour that does on the bridge of my nose, on the outer parts. And it's awesome for a little bit of contouring. So perfect brows. That's how easy it is to make a perfect brow. And it's so simple. So again, you could create a perfect brow in so many different ways. You can create it with a pencil, you can create it with powders and so forth. But why not get a palette that's gonna do all of those things too? And inclusive, you've got two highlighters, you've got two different colors, you can create dimension or you can use one or the other for your brows. And like I said, if you are definitely dyeing your hair or so forth, if it's lighter or darker, then you can definitely use one or the other and it goes with you. This is gonna last you an extremely long time because you're using such small amount of product. I've already been using this for what, 2.5 weeks, and literally I haven't made a dent on it. And I've been using it every single day. That's how much least amount of product I'm using, and then there's a wax on here too. So you can use this so many different ways, so much versatility, and you're gonna want this. This is in the medium palette, and there's also a light and dark. I have two available, so if anyone would like a medium or dark, I would order it for you, and you can get it definitely before March 1st, and you can get it today if you want, or it's going to be available to the public as of March 1st. So if you're a presenter, I hope you got them today because you're going to love it. It's so easy to do with your eyebrows. You can easily do it within 5 minutes. And then if you're a customer, you're gonna want this product too because it's the bomb. It lasts so long and it's so easy to do. But do not forget to get the pencil, the actual brush, sorry, not the pencil, but don't forget to actually get the brush with this product because it is going to create the perfect look with this palette and the brush. So thanks everyone. Have a fantastic Monday evening. Bye. God bless.